Hello, my name's Sam and we're here to talk all things sewing bee. So if you haven't watched this week, you know what to do. See you in a bit. Hello, my name's Sam and you're watching my channel Sew That Sparkle with Sam, and it is episode 6. It's Children's Week, and so yes, it's been a very exciting week. Now, apologies if for my kind of bedraggled look a little today. I'm fresh out of the shower. As soon as I knew it was Children's Week, and last night, as soon as I saw that they were making the overalls and flight suits, I was like, oh, I'm going to wear my flight suit tomorrow in homage to the fantastic overalls that were made in the Made to Measure last night. Now I'm sat in my spare room filming this vlog in my south facing spare room, 27 degrees outside. I am rethinking my life. But I really wanted to wear my flight suit. So in a previous life, I used to do space education. I used to go into schools and teach children all about space, and I used to wear my flight suit because I've done a little bit of astronaut training, and I used to wear my flight suit and tell them all about it. So I thought, how lovely, what a great thing to wear. So yeah, apologies. I have actually lost my Space Camp Sam badge. It's not lost, it needs mending. I've not worn this flight suit for quite some time now, and the Velcro has perished on it. So I will put another picture on me with my full badge on, but I thought, oh, and actually I'm quite enjoy putting it on again. So there you go. A little bit about me that you didn't know, or maybe you did. So yeah, I've called this one Down the Dinky Disco because it was something that Patrick said and it made me giggle like a girl. So I was like, yes, that is very funny. I'm going to call episode 6 Down the Dinky Disco. So pattern challenge was first, 3 hours to make a sequin fabric bomber jacket for a child. I can't tell you how unbelievably excited I was about this challenge, because I am going to do this challenge. I've been wanting to do this challenge for the longest time. Last week, when I saw it was Children's Week, I had a little look through to see what they were going to do. I saw that they were going to make a sequin bomber. I've done a little bit of research. So I downloaded a mood pattern. I've got the pattern pieces all cut out here. I'll put a picture of it above, and I'll try and remember to put the link below. It's a mood pattern bomber jacket for an adult. How exciting. I'm just going to have to move my little Peggy Dolls out of the way. Pop them just on there. And I have bought myself some sequin fabric. Now, this fabric was from First for Fabrics, and I just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I've got to have me some of this. And the idea is that I'm going to take my fabric, take my pattern, I've got my open-ended zip, and I've got some gorgeous soft spotty lining fabric, and also I've got some ribbing as well. I think I might stick with black ribbing, don't want to do too crazy. I do want to go too crazy. And yeah, and so the idea is that I'm not going to give myself 3 hours to make a bomber jacket. That is ridiculous. I'm going to give myself 3 weeks because I'd like to make it in time for the final. So that's my little challenge to myself, to make a sequin bomber jacket inspired by the Sewing Bee Series 10 in time for the Series 10 final. So wish me luck. And if you want to pop over and follow me on Instagram, I'll try and keep you updated on how that goes. So yeah, exciting. So let's see how the contestants got on, shall we? So they had 3 hours. I'm not going to give myself 3 hours. I've got 3 weeks. 3 hours to make her bomber jacket. So let's start with Luke. So Luke is definitely not their first kind of sequin rodeo. Being a drag queen, I think they said something like "my life is sequins," or there was some kind of like nod to "I know sequins." So that was a really good start. In the judging, I've put Esme burn. I think she was really harsh, some of the things that she was saying. And yes, Luke definitely could have spent a little bit more time aligning the collar. The collar was a bit out of line, but you know, everything else was okay. And they finished a bomber jacket in 3 hours, which I think needed a little bit of, you know, applauding. But you know, hey ho. I didn't think it was that bad. So Susie struggled, I think, with the sequins and the rib a bit. It was all kind of stretched out and not finished. Pasha, I'm just going to take a second to just remind everybody how wonderful Pasha's cat collar. So if you didn't get to see the episode last night, she had this beautiful shirt with a little cat collar on. Now, I'm not necessarily a big cat person. I mean, I like all animals, but it really got me thinking about what different collars I could make for shirts. So loved that. Anyway, I digress. So she had a very neat collar. She'd obviously worked quite hard, I think, to get it all kind of sitting correctly, but hadn't had time to do very much hand stitching at all. Hopefully you'll be seeing pictures coming up. I'm afraid I don't have so much video at the end as that I normally do, but I have got plenty of pictures. I've been having problems getting all of the pictures that I need, but I do my very best. So Marcus did some colour matching. He had the same fabric as Alex, but they kind of mixed and matched it. He didn't manage to get everything attached. Elsa, my only notes on Elsa was fantastic job. So, and actually she won the challenge and she did a fantastic job. Georgie had a see-through sequin fabric, which I think kind of emphasised how much you could kind of see everything through and how things weren't finished, which was a bit of a shame because I didn't think it was that bad. Again, getting them to make something like that in 3 hours, I thought was a real tough job, and I think they all executed it really well. I'm just going to take my hats off to all of them. I think they all did really, really well. Alex, as I said, had used the same fabrics as Marcus. Now, one of the things that they all found difficult in this challenge was the notches. So I've been looking at my pattern to see where all of the notches are, and I'm going to make sure that I'm not a naughty notch. What's the word? Naughty notch avoider, and that I look at all of my notches and get it all done. So yeah, and during this challenge, the lovely Amber, she gave us a bit of a history of sequins, and it was really, really interesting. I had no idea that sequins used to be made from gelatine, so I can't imagine that they smelt that good when they all melted under the heat of your body. But there we go. I learned something new, so I had a lovely time watching my sewing bee, and I learned good things, so it was good. I have to say, the one thing I didn't enjoy about this challenge was the noise coming from the machines. There was lots of needles being broken with the sequin challenge, and there was kind of lots of, you know, where needles have been broken, and yeah, not fun. So that pattern challenge, we had Luke in 7th place, Susie in 6th, Georgie in 5th, 4th was Pasha, 3rd was Marcus, 2nd was Alex, and 1st was Elsa. And on to the transformation challenge. Me and my husband, we love the transformation challenge. I know not everybody loves the transformation challenge, and that's okay. And you kind of, it is what it is. The reason that I love it is because I love creativity. And I'm just interested in what they're going to do, you know, kind of, I find that concept of here's a load of this, make something amazing. And the Children's Week one is my husband's favourite because he harks back to one of the ones where they did a fancy dress costume, and the contestant made a bunch of grapes, and it's still his favourite one. If I manage to find any pictures of it, I'll pop them up. It's his favourite challenge of all times. He absolutely loves it. And so as soon as they said it was going to be animal fancy dress, my husband sat up to watch. It was like, yes. So they had beach towels. They were allowed to choose 2 beach towels, and then an assortment of haberdashery and felt, but no other kind of real fabric. They had an hour and 30 minutes, and it had to be an animal themed fancy dress for a toddler. So they had a toddler sized mannequin. They asked Esme and Patrick what animal they would make, and Esme said a frog and Patrick said a squirrel. So there you go. So Elsa made a Dalmatian, which was very cute. So she used a white towel and she used black felt patches, and then kind of fashioned a collar and a bone, and I thought it was delightful. Thought it was really, really nice. Looked really good. Susie, I think she'd had something in her mind before they even kind of announced what the challenge was going to be, and she wanted to make a white swan outfit, kind of on the kind of Bjork swan kind of idea. And as soon as she said that, it didn't give me children. Like I obviously it's a fantastic idea, it's a fantastic creation, but when you think of a children's kind of fancy dress, you don't necessarily go straight to Bjork. Well, I don't. And so yeah, so I was really intrigued watching her to see where she was going to go with it, and whether she, you know, and how she was going to kind of change it into kind of a fancy dress costume. She didn't have a white towel, so she used an animal print towel, but used the other side of it. And I think that Patrick actually used the word drunk swan. It did look a little bit kind of weird when it was finished. Alex used boning to fantastic. So she used boning to make her kind of lion. She made a lion. It was a little bit where the wild things are, but it was absolutely fantastic. She kind of had a very simple romper, like toweling romper, and then just went to town on the headdress and the tail. It was very simple but very effective. I really, really liked that. Thought that was brilliant. Pasha. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Pasha just won Sewing Bee this week. It was fantastic. Yeah, she just completely nailed the brief on this one. It was just brilliant. She made an alligator. The head shape was perfect, and that's quite a hard thing to do, because she kind of had to envision the pattern in her head to get that aura, and then to get it stuffed. And actually stuffing something like that in an hour and a half and get it, I thought she did brilliantly. I thought her time management is excellent. There's no way that I could have done that in the time. I thought, yeah, and it was so cute, and it was so, yeah, well done, Pasha. Absolutely fantastic. So there was a little bit of confusion, or whether it was an alligator, whether it was a crocodile, or whether it was a dinosaur. I didn't care. It was cute. It was amazing. Fantastic. Marcus made a frog. With like a kind of balaclava, and then kind of a long kind of skirty shirt thing. And it was a little bit too long for his tiny little toddler model. And yeah, and I have to say, it wasn't my favourite. I don't know what it was that I liked or didn't like about it, really. I don't know, it didn't... I'm going to be really honest, it didn't really give me frog. It didn't really look... It was more, I could see it was kind of amphibian a bit, but yeah, it didn't give me frog entirely. I think, you know, if you're going to do a frog, you need to go to town on kind of the eyes right on top of the head, and it kind of wasn't quite, and yeah, just, I don't like... It is just my opinion, and I am entitled to my opinion. But I don't like being negative, because I know that they all try really, really hard on all of them. But it just didn't do it for me. Wasn't my favourite. Luke, they did fish. Luke, absolute genius. Made a fish costume. Fantastic fish costume. Little poncho, little popper. You know, the kind of the way that the hood goes round was like the fish face. Genius, added genius, gave them a little pack of chips, so we had fish and chips. Loved it, was totally there for that. Thought that was fantastic. Georgie made a butterfly. She was I thought she had some fantastic ideas, and she'd made all of the shapes out of boning and stuff. I think she ran out of time. I think she was a little bit too ambitious. And again, the judges were a bit, I felt that they were quite negative on her, but I thought it was okay. It looked like a butterfly. It had antennae. Obviously the cover or the dress was a little bit simple, but you know, it did what it needed to do. But yeah, so that was a bit of a shame. And as a consequence, Georgie did come last in that challenge. So Georgie was 7th, Marcus was 6th, Luke was 5th, Susie was 4th, Elsa was 3rd, 2nd was Alex, and 1st was Pasha. So they went straight into the made to measure. And another thing that I noticed about Pasha, so it's a bit of Pasha week this week. It's a bit of Pasha love from me this week, because Pasha's monkey is called Sparkles. Who doesn't love a sparkle? We found that out last night. A little monkey that sits on a desk when she sews is called Sparkles. Fabulous. So in the made to measure, the contestants had to make an outfit inspired by their childhood photos. So they all had to bring in a childhood photo and make an outfit inspired by that. So Luke's, I loved Luke's photo. I mean, the cutest little guy in one red, one blue, what do you call them, braces. Lovely. Hopefully I've got some pictures of their original photos and their actual kind of garments, so hopefully as I'm talking those will come up, as you know, and I'll try and put a little bit of a thing at the end as well to help you see. So Luke made like bi-coloured overalls. So cool. I can totally see any of my children when they were that age really loving wearing that. It was really practical, lots of pockets, but you know, a bit different. Thought it was really, really nice. Seemed to be really, really well made. I think he had a little bit of a D-ring accident at the end, so it wasn't quite completed, but it looked great. I thought it was really, really nice. And definitely, because there was some talk about Luke being in the bottom of the pack, that definitely saved them. Georgie was a double denim look, a double denim jumpsuit. Really, really cute. Georgie did have a bit of problems with some time was against her. Now, the judges didn't like this. I really did. I loved it. I thought it was lovely. Okay, it wasn't finished, and okay, a few of the poppers weren't on, but I really, really like this outfit. I thought it was really lovely. I thought, again, it did what it needed to do. The only thing that I would say, and it may have been part of the negative criticism that she got, was it didn't match the picture as well as some of the others. So when you saw the picture, the outfit was great, but it didn't necessarily match the picture. And I think that may have been the reason that they gave those negative comments, because of course we only see a very small edited part of what they discuss. You don't see everything. So yeah, I loved it, but yeah, you know, I'm glad I'm not a judge. Alex made some party velvet dungarees, and they were very nice. Thank you very much. But Patrick was right. He suggested that doing all of that top stitching, which of course took a really long time, on velvet was, you know, a bit of, you know, it was a bit of a strange decision, because when you top stitch on velvet, it just goes into the pile. So all of her hard work wasn't as visible as it should have been. However, I will say the fact that she did, because she made the top and the dungarees, and the way that she matched her model and her picture, her outfit and her picture, I thought was absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good. And I did love that. Although I am just going to tell you off a little bit, Alex. No sewing when the outfit is still on the child. That made me giggle. Pasha Pasha made like a rah-rah skirt, skort, top, dress scenario. Again, it was something that an aunt had bought her when she was younger, and it was a top and skirt set, and she wore it together to make a dress, and she kind of changed it into a skort. And it was, yeah, it was lovely. It was really, really nice. Very, very successful, did exactly what it needed to do. Yeah, I thought it was really, really pretty. Maybe a bit simple, but then sometimes those simple things are the best. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And I've put under Pasha fluffy slippers, question mark, because those of you that have watched my other vlogs, I'm obsessed with what they wear on their feet. What the sewers wear on their feet, I'm very interested in. And she had some very, very fluffy slippers on last night. So we'll go on to Susie. Susie made a patchwork skort and top. And she decided very late in the day to line it, as she'd noticed it was see-through. Now, and again, I understand that we only see a very small snippet, but they are allowed to prepare all of their fabrics beforehand. And Georgie stated they're even allowed to cut some of their fabrics beforehand. So I would like to say that if you're in a competition and you've already cut your fabrics, you already know that they're see-through, or if you don't, you should. So she was given a lot of kudos in the judging for making that decision, and kind of like, and kind of, it was like, oh, it was okay. It was kind of, they kind of compensated for some of the things that weren't quite right because she'd put the extra effort into the lining. But my little kind of two penneth worth is that you would know that beforehand. So you need to be a bit more prepared. However, the judge's decision is final, and that's okay. But yeah, I thought that she got kind of let off a little bit, whereas other people got really, really harshly critiqued, in my opinion. But as I said, we only see a very small part of it, so who knows. The other thing is that and I realise they only get a short amount of time, but her patchwork was far too big. It's for a child, and she could have very easily had that pattern and then just cut the patchwork smaller and then kind of like, just sewed it together again so that they were smaller squares. But because she made mistakes on the lining, it was all kind of upside down, and it didn't for me, it didn't work. It looked a little bit more like an apron than a skirt. And that, and yeah, so for me, that was my least favourite outfit in the made to measure. Then there was Elsa. Elsa did a mermaid outfit inspired by a mermaid outfit that her late mother had made for her when she was little, and it was really cute and endearing. And she made a mermaid party dress with a high-low hem. And yeah, it was lovely. She did have a bit of a mare. She managed to get a hole in when she was using the overlocker to do the sleeve. She managed to get a hole in one of the panels, which, we've all done it. I've done that recently, actually. Was making one of my Nell dresses. I managed to nick a little bit. So, but she did exactly what I did. Put a little bit of an interfacing underneath and patched it up, and I've actually put a patch over the top as well. But I thought, carry on. It's okay. Be calm. Carry on. And she ended up with a very nice party frock. And her little model looked delighted with it. She did a little spin. Looked beautiful. Marcus, he was inspired by a spaceman jumpsuit that his uncle had worn. Now, if this had been me, I probably would have gone for something quite similar. And actually, it's quite similar from what I'm wearing now. And he just really went to town on the patches. I do think it may have been a bit of a mistake not to, because all he needed to do was roughly top stitch some of the patches, or at least like a little bit of each patch on, so that when it kind of come to it and he pressed them on, then the iron might have worked. But he ironed on all of the patches and then sewed it. So of course quite a lot of them pulled off, kind of fell off, because they do. So when it came to the catwalk, there was lots of safety pins on show. So yeah, it was still one of my favourite outfits, but it did look a little bit unfinished. which was a shame. So yeah, so that was Children's Week. And the garment of the week was, well, it wasn't a surprise, but I'd kind of forgotten that they don't have to pick the garment of the week from the Made to Measure. And they picked Pasha's alligator, which is absolutely the right thing to do because it was definitely the best make of the show. So yeah, it was really, really lovely. And then when they came to the going home, now I don't know about you, but when I'm at home, when they come to say the name, I say the name who I think should, you know, who I think they're going to send home. And when they said the name, I said a different name. I was really, really surprised that unfortunately Georgie had to go home. I felt quite upset. I had a bit of a lump in my throat. I felt really upset for her because I think she's done really, really well. And yeah, and I kind of felt like she deserved to stay for another week. So hey ho. However, she did say at the beginning that even though she was the only one left that had children in the group, that she'd never made any clothes for her children. So maybe she's going to go home, have a bit more time and spend some time making some clothes for her children. Who knows? So yeah, so that's my little roundup of what I thought of the Bee. Please pop, you know, if you like what you see, give me a like. If you've got anything to add, then pop your comments in below. Please remember to be kind and respectful. And yeah, and if you want to find out what I'm getting up to next week, then yeah, subscribe and press that notification bell. So next week is lingerie week. So that would be quite interesting. I think they're going to be making bras and underwear and nightwear. And that kind of thing, which will be very exciting. And I will see you all next time. Don't forget to sparkle. See you really soon. Bye for now.